Hey guys, how you doing? Ron here with Tech Tips to Go. I just wanted to touch base on the last video I made, kind of add a little bit to it. So let's check it out. So there was a latest tweet on Twitter from Cointelegraph, and what it mentions, which I kind of didn't really expand on, but I think this is big as well because this is really important when it comes to business. So when you're running a business, cash is king. Cash flow is king. That's the main thing that a lot of people look for, is because a lot of times when you're running business, it's always like net 30. So you provide some services, you sell a product, and most people don't have the funds to pay for it because they have a lot of cash flow. They have a lot of expenses. They got to pay payroll. They got to pay rent. They got to pay the supplier. There's so much involved in terms of when you deal or when you're doing business. And over the years, like I've noticed, like unless your profit margins are super high, then you don't have cash flow issues. But in a competitive world, you always have cash flow issues. So it's always like net 30. But with Cointelegraph's tweet here, and when I reread it again, it says milestone, which is a huge milestone. So milestone payments can be made as shipments move along the supply chain, verified on the Vechain blockchain on MasterCard. So when I had my first company, this was something that my suppliers or our suppliers in China would kept bothering us. Payment, and then when it'd get to the rail in Vancouver, then our clearing company would be like, nonstop hounding us for payment, because, they're dealing with so many freight containers that are getting imported from China to Canada. So imagine, just one customer or two customers or three customer delays and not paying for their custom clearance fees is huge. And then they have to pay container. Then when it ports off of the dock from Vancouver to Toronto on the rail, they got to pay, storage costs where it sits before it gets telex released, and that shipment gets trucked over to our dock. So anyways, this is huge. Milestone payments can be made as shipments move along the supply chain, verified on the Vechain blockchain or MasterCard provenance. And that's huge because in the article, what it mentions is this. So no, now you don't have to do net 30 and wait for payments. And then usually it's never net 30. Like even when we send invoices to our customers, sometimes we don't get paid for like 4 to 6 months. I've had payments where we waited over like 14 months for a payment, which is insane. So this is going to be huge because a lot of businesses are going to look at this, and especially in supply chain. And just read this. So with the economic lockdown badly affecting companies' cash flows, and I'm going to skip to here. For example, 30% can be automatically paid when the blockchain records a shipment. So this is all automation, right? This is huge because now you don't have to involve administrator here, have the secretary, have someone in finance say, well, did you clear it? Did they pay? Yes, they paid. Okay, great. Now that they paid, let's clear it. So how many people do you have to involve to wait for payment and get it cleared? But now, like the way I see this working is in the future with Alipay, MasterCard, and Vechain, they're going to probably use Vechain's ecosystem combined with MasterCard and payment and Alipay. Customers in China are going to be able to submit payment, take payment. For example, 30% can be automatically paid when the blockchain records a shipment clearing customs in Australia, which is awesome. This is huge. Then another 30% when it hits customs in China, right? So along those steps, no longer do you have to wait for, okay, did it clear customs? Yes, no, okay. Did you pay? When I used to send a lot of customs forms and payments and wires to my suppliers, then they would release. But now that it could be automated, this is huge. And more customers are going to be looking at this like, well, I want to be part of the blockchain now. Because when you deal with an ERP system or supply chain management systems, typically you build an ERP, a WMS system, and that WMS system resides in two places. Most likely one place. It's just like it resides in your office, in your warehouse. You have a warehouse management system that costs 3, 4, 5, whether it be SAP or some kind of other WMS from like Manhattan or High Jump. that warehouse management system that costs like $2, $3, $4, $5 million, depending on the seats, resides in your warehouse. And then you might have, 2, 3 other warehouses. Then they'll have like those. But, you'll never see like a WMS here and then, a leg of that WMS or warehouse management system into like logistics companies, unless they want to pay like 3, 4, 5 million. That's why when it comes to blockchain, public blockchains, that's the advantage of using public blockchains. Now you can integrate Alipay, MasterCard, like with this whole article that Cointelegraph mentioned, it's a huge milestone, like massive milestone. And from a business perspective, and personally, like me dealing with wire transfers, trucks, freight, telex releases, this is massive. And more companies are going to look at this and be like, this is huge, especially knowing that the players that we're all hoping for are on it, which is Vechain, which is great. So I want to get into another part of this video here. So after this news came out, someone on Reddit mentioned this here. So if you look at the, basically they were saying that the testnet activity is skyrocketing. Fireworks are happening. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to leave a link down below. If you look at the Vechain testnet activity for today, look at all the fireworks that are happening. Like this is crazy. As we scroll, this could be like, with the ease of lockdowns, it's happening in certain countries, maybe more activities happening and stuff is going to go live, right? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of other companies are anxious to get their projects finished. I know Vechain and their team, they kind of want to push their projects to get finished. But now maybe like companies like Italy and Spain and Europe, they're kind of easing lockdowns. Like I mentioned, Spain actually, yesterday was the first day that people can actually go out and start jogging. Restaurants are starting to open, so that's great news. Maybe, we're going to start to see things moon, hopefully. But anyways, look at the testnet activity, May 4th. And then over here, May 3rd, you see May 4th. Wow, it keeps going and going. Like, I'm going to leave the link to this. But over here, check this out, guys. So look at this. You can scroll in, you can scroll out. Look at the fireworks here. So VTH burn, if you just hover over here, 1.3 million. Look at the amount of transactions. Almost 2,100 transactions. 137,000 clauses. This is massive. This is good news. So you can go to April. You can kind of scroll in and scroll around. But if you look at some of the Vechain testnet activity, you could just see like small transactions here. 440,000, right? This is in February. And I think when Walmart did their stuff at the year end, December, yeah, it was around here, I think. This might have been Walmart doing a lot of testing or transactions. But on the testnet, look at that spike here. Now we come over here. We've got a huge spike right here. So anyways, that's one part of the news. Over here, what else do we have? So after that tweet that Cointelegraph tweeted out there, Sarah, about an hour ago, Sarah Nab is the business development director or VP for Vechain in Australia and Southeast Asia. So she says, on behalf of Vechain team, we are proud to be a member of the APAC Council. We look forward to working with Dean Darris and Freshco Supply Co. Australia team in helping more Australian producers build verifiable and transparent supply chains with Vechain toolchain. So anyways, just huge news again. I just hope, we all hope for the same thing, that, we moon sooner than later. But like I said, again, patience is key. We're getting there, guys. It's just a matter of time, right? I kind of feel sorry for the people who have sold out, right? It's just, I like to hodl, and it's so hard to time the market, the cryptocurrency market. You're trying to buy at the dip. But for all the non-believers, it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I just shake my head and I'm like, well, how can you doubt a company and the news like this? It's not like these transactions are going to happen. They sign a customer and it's going to happen like right away. It takes time to build a company. You look at companies like Tesla, like I mentioned. Like, how long did it take them to get to $1,000 per share? Right? They started, I think, back in like 2011, right? It took them that many years. And all these people who have doubts, or they have, they talk a lot of BS about Vechain. It's like, guys, this, picture Vechain like as if they're on an IPO, like on the public, on the Nasdaq, right? It's the same thing. Don't think, the last bull run, there was like ICOs, like coins that would go from like maybe a penny to like to dollars, and they had no utility. Basically, it was a garbage coin, and that was like a different time. So now we're kind of entering like more people, they were skeptical back then, and now more people are kind of like looking at legit companies in cryptocurrency. They're saying, well, what is the best use case that this cryptocurrency is doing? What utility? Who's backing it? Where they're getting their cash flow, their funding? Who are their partners, right? And if you're saying that Vechain is like a garbage coin, if you look at the list of partnerships like PwC, MasterCard, the news now with the country of Australia with 76 billion of importing to China, like how can you fake that news? Anyways, that's kind of me ranting a little bit. But anyways, I wanted to show you one more thing, guys. Sorry, I want to keep this short, but so here's Owler. Owler basically does kind of a breakdown of PwC, which has invested into Vechain, and this kind of tells customers out there who PwC competitors, the revenue, number of employees, the fundings, and also the acquisitions. So we all know that PwC invested into Vechain, and some people are doubting that, but PwC is actually really gaining and adopting blockchain technologies because they see it, as much as we do in the future of blockchain technology. So they actually purchased a company back in January. So here it shows, okay, PwC is a $42 billion company, massive, okay? 276,000 employees. And like I mentioned in my other video, PwC is like in the top 5 consulting firms. So let's scroll down here, and I'm going to show you this. So trending news, okay, blah, 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 competitive analysis, ranked. Maybe they are number 1, who knows? So the acquisitions. So they recently, in January 2020, they purchased Chain Security, which is a blockchain company. So they provide smart contracts auditing, risk assurance, and security solutions, right? So that's how big PwC is getting into blockchain solutions, right? Now, I don't know, I'm not going to go into the article because, I'm pretty sure they're still, well, 100%, because they've acquired this company because they want to do more global mass adoption for blockchain technology solutions. So this is a great thing because you could have more than X amount of blockchain providers, or you can invest into them, right? Just to kind of quickly adapt, because they are a $42 billion company with X amount of offices, right? And in China, they're actually using Vechain as their blockchain ecosystem. So over here, you look at investments as well. So people are saying, well, no, these companies are fake. That's garbage. That's bad news, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But here's the investment. It shows that, Vechain, blockchain service provider that specializes in anti-counterfeiting, IoT, and supply chain management for businesses. Investment date, May 4th. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I'll leave the links in the description below. So anyways, that's it for today. Sorry, I tried to make it short. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.